Okay, so dear children, you must have watched the activity which I have shared with you all, right? So by watching the activity, you must be aware about this, what we are going to discuss today. So today we are going to discuss about another physical quantity, that is momentum, right? And from the activity, you might have observed the changes which are produced by the momentum of the different bodies, like lighter body and heavier body. So now we are going to discuss about momentum, the factors on which it depends, and Newton's laws of motion, right? So first of all, let's start with momentum. As from the activity, you might have seen the momentum depends upon the two factor, mass and velocity. So what is momentum? It is the quantity of motion. That is the quantity of motion contained in a body. Contained in a body. This is known as Newton momentum. The quantity of motion. Quantity of motion means momentum can be written as is equal to mass into velocity, right? And it is denoted by P, and mass is denoted by M, and velocity is denoted by V. So this is the formula for momentum, that is mass into velocity. From its mathematical form, you can see that it depends upon two factors. One is mass, another is velocity, right? So if the mass will be more, as I took the two examples, so today I can show you with a different way. Like I'm having these two balls. This is a smiley ball. We know that this is very lighter, right? And this is a tennis ball, very heavy ball, right? I must say. So if I will use this ball in spite of the other one, so the one is smiley and one is this. So which will produce more momentum? We know that if I will throw this ball with the same speed on the bottle, this will produce very less amount of damage, or it will affect very in lesser amount as compared to this. Because if I will throw this ball on the bottle as I have used in the activity, so this will create more effect. Why? Because it's having more mass. Even the velocity is same, right? So this way we can say that then momentum depends upon velocity and mass. If velocity changes, momentum also changes. Velocity will be more, momentum will be more. So now we know that unit of mass is kilogram and unit of velocity is meter per second. So this is the unit of momentum. Always keep in mind, kilogram meter per second is the unit of momentum, right? Quantity of matter contained in a body, that is momentum. Okay. As we know that velocity is a vector quantity. Velocity is a vector quantity. So what we can say about momentum? Momentum will also be a vector quantity because it depends upon velocity, and velocity is a vector quantity. So momentum भी हमारे पास vector ही होगा, right? Okay. Then after looking at this, Newton gave his law that is known as Newton's second law of motion. What was that? He observed that, he said, when I will apply the more force, there will be more velocity. If the velocity will be more, momentum will be more. If I apply the lesser force, the velocity will be less, the momentum will be less. So what he said, that momentum P, then sorry, first of all force F increases velocity, then momentum increases. So that means velocity depends upon force, more velocity. So what he said that force and momentum are directly related to each other, because if I am increasing force, velocity is increasing, momentum is increasing. So directly I can say with increase in force, I can change I can increase the momentum, right? So what is this, and how we can write this Newton's second law of motion? This is the definition of Newton's second law of motion. The rate of change of momentum, the rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to external unbalanced force. External unbalanced force. Right? Directly proportional means if one quantity will increase, another will also increase. This is the meaning of directly proportional. Right? Now I am going to give one mathematical relation of in the form of Newton's second law of motion. So please keep in mind that if F is the external force, if F is the external force, right, for small time dt, and dp is the change in momentum, dp is the change in momentum, change in spite of change we can mention small change. What I mean to say, suppose if I am applying the force for small interval of time dt, मैंने ball को just I flicked it. So flicked means I am applying the force for very short interval of time. If the interval of time is short, it's not possible that the ball to reach to 100 km/h in a single flick, right? So what I can say, this is a small change in momentum. Let us understand with one example. Let the momentum is P1 is 10 kg/m per second, right? When the force was F1. Now when I increase the force, for small time dt, for small time dt I increase the force, then the momentum becomes 10.75 kg/m per second. So what is dp here? Dp is equal to P2 minus P1, that will be equal to 10.75 minus 10, that is equal to 0.75 kg/m per second. So if the force will act for small interval of time, then the small change in momentum will be there. So dp represents here beta small change in momentum. Please keep in mind dp is small change in momentum. So how I can write Newton's second law? By using this. Let's see. Now dp is a change in momentum for small time dt. According to Newton's law, force is directly proportional to change in momentum. Yes. Now rate of change in momentum. Rate of change of means whenever we use the rate of change of any physical quantity, that means we are dividing this change by time. This is the meaning of rate. Like we have done in chapter 8 motion, that is rate of change of velocity. Rate of change of velocity is acceleration. So in that what we write, v minus u upon t, that is final velocity minus initial velocity upon time. Same way we can also divide it by dt. Momentum dp kya hai? There is a change in momentum which I have calculated with the example I shown you, that 0.75 is the small momentum जो change हुआ उसमें, divided by time. So rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to external force applied. Now this proportionality sign we can remove by using a constant of proportionality k, dp over dt. Now for SI units, k is equal to 1. Therefore, F is equal to dp over dt. So this mathematical form you will use in class 11 also, in the chapter 4 of Newton's laws of motion. So I am telling you this because if you are using another book, so in some books its mathematical form is all, this one is also mentioned. Okay, I don't want anyone will think like that we have not done this. So there is another which is given in the NCERT book that we are going to discuss after this derivation. So I hope this till this you have understood that how force can be written as rate of change of momentum, right? So now Newton's second law of motion. the mathematical form which I was talking about. So for understanding Newton's second law of motion, first of all, we are considering, let P1 and P2 be the initial and final momentum right, of a body where u and v are initial and final velocities. V and u are initial and final velocities. Right? Now, how I can write the change in momentum? Therefore, initial momentum, if I would like to write initial momentum, that is P1 will be is equal to mu, where m is the mass of the body. Final momentum, if I want to write final momentum is P2, I can write mv. Right? Now, as I told you that change in momentum is equal to final momentum minus initial momentum. Now, if we want to write rate of change of momentum, rate of change in momentum divided by time, mv minus mu by t. This is the meaning of rate of change of momentum. Now, according to Newton's second law, therefore, F can be written as m into v minus mu over t. Right? If I take m common from this, v minus u over t. Now, this formula is given by acceleration, which we have already done in motion chapter. So F is equal to ma. This is the mathematical form of Newton's second law of motion. Apart from this, I can also mention Newton's second law of motion in different form. I am writing here, one is F is equal to P2 minus P1 over T. This is one form of Newton's second law of motion. Another form I can write, in spite of P2, I can put mv, then mu upon t. One is this, mv minus mu over t. And another, if I use ma. So these are the 1, 2, and 3. 3 different mathematical form. If the question comes, write the different mathematical form of Newton's second law of motion. So these you can write. If the momentum is given, directly use this formula in numericals. If velocities are given, we will apply this formula. And if acceleration is given, we can use this formula. And very important thing, that this law measures force. This law measures force. Don't be confused. First law of motion, define force, and Newton's second law of motion, measure force. Right? Because it gives the mathematical form of calculating force. Now we are having number of examples which are showing this Newton's second law of motion. So we can consider them. So if I talk about very common game, that is cricket. While catching a ball, like if a ball coming after striking the bat, this is the ball, and if the ball coming from the height, so what the player generally do? The player generally lower his hands while catching the ball. Suppose this is the ball, so here I am just bringing it in contact. So then the player will slowly lower his hands while catching the ball. You might have observed this. This is the way of catching a ball. So why does this happen? This is Newton's second law of motion. Your children, Newton's second law of motion. How Newton's second law of motion? Now see the ball and the time. This is the mathematical form. So what the player is actually doing, he is not aware that I am applying Newton's second law of motion, right? And never the coach will tell the player, you have to use the Newton's second law of motion. Actually, they are using. So they are lowering their hands because उनको ये बताया जाता है कि when you will lower your hands, it will not hurt you. But as we are the science student, we are learning science, we are doing science. So we have to think scientifically. So why it's not getting hurted? Because less hurted because the time is increased. Change in momentum के लिए जो time है that increases when you are lowering your hands. So due to which force will be less because force is inversely proportional to time. They are inversely proportional. That's why the time will be more, the force will be less. One is this example. Another example you can also take. There are a number of examples. So javelin throw जो होती है, so like stick लेके they are jumping 10 feet or 8 feet, and on the other side there is always a cushion provided to them. Why the cushion is provided? Because they will not get hurted. Why they are not getting hurted? Because cushion क्या करता है? They are increasing the time of change in momentum. They pressed when they jump over it, right? So when they are increasing the time of change in momentum, the force will be less. Same way, very common examples of shockers which are used in vehicles. You might have seen the shockers in the vehicles. Spring type होते हैं वो, इतने size के. When pit comes or the any hump comes, so they pressed like this and they increase the change in momentum. Time बढ़ा देते हैं वो. So that's why the person will not get any effect. But if the shockers will not be properly working, shocker will not be there. So अब jumping होगी तो जो person है, he or she may fell down from the scooter also, क्योंकि वो एकदम झटका आता है बहुत जबरदस्त, right? So it protects us from the falling down of the vehicles, or it keep it our body in the proper position when the shockers are. So these are the different examples of Newton's second law of motion. You can think about more examples and you can share with me. Thank you so much.